Sister spouses. Another earthy-colored youngster follows Janelle to North Carolina. Janelle Brown migrated to North Carolina, yet no sooner did the sister spouse's star take the action was she trailed by an earthy-colored kid. She as of now has family there, however presently, she has considerably more kids to adore on and invest energy with. All in all, who has advanced toward be close by? Continue to peruse for additional subtleties. Sister spouses. An earthy-colored kid joins Janelle in North Carolina. Janelle Brown was exceptionally satisfied in Flagstaff, Arizona. She loved expanding on the family land, Coyote Pass, and got into the specialty of cultivating. It was harmony for herself, and Janelle had found a type of internal harmony. She was so put resources into moving onto the land that she bought a RV. This was so she and her girl, Savannah, could spend the mid-year on the property. Janelle needed to see what it was preferred to be genuinely on the land and all that went into it. She then, at that point, had a counterfeit design for a home drawn up which she imparted to her family to show them how serious she was. Tragically, they didn't have the cash to take care of Coyote Pass, so the plans were required to be postponed. As time passed by, the spouses began to leave the plural family. Christine earthy-colored woolly left in 2021, Janelle was straightaway, and Mary Brown was last. Janelle requested to be purchased out of the land since she had no goals of building and found a homestead in North Carolina with her little girl, Maddie Brush Brown. She then moved there from Flagstaff without telling her ex, Kody Brown, and presently, another Brown has taken the action to North Carolina. Janelle took to Instagram to show that Christine earthy-colored woolly's child, Paydon Brown, is currently an authority inhabitant. All the more thus, he found a new line of work and a loft there, so it seems as though he is staying close by. Janelle kidded it could be the ideal opportunity for Christine to get a second home there, too. The packs everything here. Isabel Brown had moved to North Carolina for school and lived with Maddie Brush Brown for a year. She then moved to Utah to be nearer to her mom and sisters. Savannah earthy-colored presently lives with Maddie, so it has all the earmarks of being a sister spouse's movement. What was the fans' take of Peyton's huge move? They were excited. I bet Maddie is excited to such an extent that every one of her kin and you are moving to NC. You are astonishing, and I love the closeness of you and Christine and your children. It's essentially gorgeous. Indeed. At Christine_Brownser requirements to get a second spot there so you all can hang out. Your relationship is so exquisite. Love this for you. All he gets is absurdity from Christine. Fans have adored watching Christine and Janelle's very close sisterhood. However, they are no longer sister spouses. Their youngsters were raised as one, and they view each other's children as one unit. At the point when Christine met her currently spouse, David Woolley, she let him know that she and Janelle were a comprehensive bundle. In this way, perhaps Christine could need to think about a subsequent home. Sister spouses. Gwendolyn Brown a domineering jerk? Is sister spouse's star, Gwendolyn Brown, a domineering jerk subsequent to getting down on others for their terrible way of behaving? It appears to be a few fans are scrutinizing her activities after she drilled down into something dreadful she did, however downplayed. All in all, did Gwen do that was so terrible, and would she say she is a harasser or simply a scoundrel? Continue to peruse for additional subtleties. Is Gwendolyn Brown a harasser? For quite a long time, it seemed as though Gwendolyn Brown had been the subject of tormenting. She had been slapped by her sibling, Paydon earthy-colored, which caused a tremendous measure of dispute between the kin. Because of this, the sister spouses' co-stars couldn't associate with each other. Their mom, Christine earthy-colored woolly, loved her 6 youngsters as well as those of her sister spouses. Consequently, it made it extraordinarily hard for her when all she needed was for them to make up and rejoin. Basically, she simply needed to handle harmony between the two. Gwendolyn has figured out how to stay away from her sibling for most occasions. He was not welcome to her late spring 2023 wedding to Beatrice Queiroz, or whatever obliged it. All the more in this way, she didn't go to her mom's October 2023 wedding to David Woolley. It gave the idea that she had a school commitment, however some accepted she was deliberately remaining away a result of her sibling. Presently, it has come up that Gwendolyn might have been similarly as a very remarkable domineering jerk as Paydon. A Reddit string was begun to examine terrible conduct she gladly examined recently. Is Gwen a domineering jerk, very much like Kody? I didn't observe where I saw it, yet I saw a video as of late of Gwen, chuckling and kidding about getting into a contention once with one of her siblings. I think it was Gabe, yet I don't know. In any case, she conceded, pushing a toothbrush into his throat. They added Gwen found this amusing and considered how very different it was from what Kody had done. Besides, would she say she is only a harasser, as well? The decision is in. After Sister Spouse's fans discovered that Gwendolyn Brown was not the most thoughtful to her kin, what was their response? All the more all in all, did they view her as large of a harasser as her sibling, or was there no correlation? I believe Christine's children are somewhat wild aside from Aspen and Isabel. It makes the show so engaging. They offered a few remarks that Gwen mistreated Isabel. Isabel even said she could have done without Gwen by any stretch of the imagination until Gwen moved out of the house. Presently they are close. I generally thought it was odd them referenced that often. Pushing a toothbrush into somebody's throat is actually a major buzzkill. Interesting. Somebody noticed that Christine's youngsters are showing how gravely they were impacted by Kody earthy colored's non-appearance. However, others noticed that the two guardians appear to be not entirely okay, so it would seem okay that their children would have issues. With respect to Kody, they added he appears to have had treatment and grown a ton, which is perfect. A fan #1 on Sister Spouses, has forever been known for her reasonable disposition and useful way to deal with life inside the plural family. As of late, Janelle focused on the difficulties of family social occasions in an open conversation, uncovering the challenges that have surfaced as connections inside the earthy-colored family have become progressively stressed. The truth of family social affairs. In the early times of Sister Spouses, family get-togethers were in many cases depicted as vivacious and agreeable occasions. Nonetheless, as the years have passed, pressure among the relatives, particularly between Kody Brown and his spouses, has made these social gatherings more confounded. Janelle conceded that family social occasions aren't quite so happy or continuous as they used to be. There's a great deal of psychological weight and irritating issues that make it hard to meet up as one major family, she said during a new meeting. She made sense of that. While she esteems the possibility of everybody meeting up, the truth frequently misses the mark regarding her assumptions. All of us are in better places inwardly, and it's difficult to overlook the glaring issue at hand when we as a whole are in a similar space, she said. The kind of independent lives. Quite possibly of the greatest test Janelle featured was the inexorably independent lives the relatives presently lead. With Christine Brown formally separated from Kody and living in Utah, Mary Brown zeroed in on her own endeavors, and Robin Brown being the main spouse still in a customary conjugal relationship with Kody, the relational peculiarity has essentially moved. There's this thought that we should with or without just put our disparities for the family, however it is quite difficult, Janelle made sense of. We've all filled this way and that, and anticipating that everybody should just meet up and imagine like nothing's happened is ridiculous. Implicit strains. Janelle likewise tended to the implicit pressures that frequently emerge during family social occasions. As indicated by her, a large part of the distress comes from irritating issues inside the family. Individuals can detect when there's something wrong with things, she said. You can't drive associations or imagine that all is well when it's not. That sort of strain just compounds the situation. She noticed that Kody's stressed associations with a portion of his youngsters and his different spouses frequently cast a shadow over family occasions. It's terrible in light of the fact that these social occasions ought to be tied in with commending our bond, yet all things being equal, they some of the time feel like a sign of how far separated we've developed, she shared. Janelle's way to deal with family social occasions. Notwithstanding the difficulties, Janelle stays focused on encouraging a feeling of solidarity inside the family. She accepts that open correspondence and reasonable assumptions are vital to advancing the circumstance. I think we should be straightforward with one another about where we are inwardly, she said. Rather than attempting to drive enormous family social occasions, perhaps we center around more modest, more significant associations. Janelle likewise stressed the significance of recuperating past injuries. We can't push ahead until we address the things that have harmed us, she made sense of. There's really no need to focus on doling out fault, it's tied in with figuring out how to continue on together. Fans respond to Janelle's trustworthiness. Fanatics of sister spouses have applauded Janelle for her realism and reasonableness. Via web-based entertainment, numerous watchers have communicated their help for her point of view on family social events. She's the voice of reason in that family, one fan composed. Janelle generally appears to have an approach to slicing through the show and zeroing in on the main thing. Another analyst added, it's invigorating to hear somebody on the show discuss the main problems as opposed to imagining all is well. Looking forward. As the earthy-colored family keeps on exploring its developing dynamic, Janelle's bits of knowledge give a brief look into the difficulties of keeping up with solidarity in a broke plural marriage. While the street ahead might be troublesome, Janelle stays confident that the family can track down an approach to reconnect, each little move toward turn. Until further notice, she's centered around keeping up with her own feeling of harmony and supporting her youngsters as they cut out their own ways. And keeping in mind that family social affairs might in all likelihood never look equivalent to they once did, still up in the air to keep the lines of correspondence open, regardless of how confounded things get.